All right, so good morning and welcome to Soul Soup this morning. I'm Dr. Janette Freeman, and we're going to dig in and have a little warmth for your heart, food for your soul this morning as we delve in a little bit on the power of intention in a new way. And I'm going to pull from two things this morning. And I'm going to just talk about the power of intention from Wayne Dyer's book, The Power of Intention, and what it is as a little bit of a different thing. A lot of times we think of intention as the will, using the will, the human will to make an intention, make things happen. And in that book, Wayne Dyer talks about the field of intention. And then when we align with the field of intention, or the all creative power of the universe, that the source of the universe, that our alignment with this intention over and over allows this intention, this overriding intention for greater awakening and expansion and life and love, all the attributes of it itself, call us and manifest through us in a more ease-filled, graceful life. And so we look at this field of intention. I want to start with a little bit of a quote, if we could, just right from that book. And he quotes Carlos Castaneda and says, "Intent is a force that exists in the universe. When sorcerers," or he says those who live in source, "beckon intent, it comes to them and sets up the path for attainment." So living from source, we accomplish what we set out to do. So imagine this field of intention. I'm going to first of all use Wayne Dyer's analogy because I thought it was so beautiful, and then tie in a little bit to the I Am teachings and to our own I Am nature, wisdom, and power. So he used the metaphor and talks about when he was a little boy, like 2-3 years old, and his mother would take him on the trolley car in San Francisco. And he would sit there, and way high above his head, farther than he could reach, was the rope that you would hold, people would hold on to on this trolley car, and the trolley car would take them where they needed to go. People would come on and off of the trolley car as they would. And so he tied in this holding on to this rope, that this trolley car was the field of intention, and holding on to that rope meant you held on to this field of intention and just let that trolley car take you. People would get in and out of your life. And as a small child, he was not able to reach. And so he said he used to pretend and imagine that he could float up above his body and just go up and then link in to that trolley car with that rope. And so throughout this teaching, it's like this field of intention is ever present. This field of intention is the I really call it like the field, the universal mind of God, the field of God, the infinite, expansive field. And but it doesn't come down and force its will upon us. We as awakening spiritual beings are learning to align more in a higher vibration, align more, grow, wake up, and align with the higher vibration more, so that we're in tune with that which is the higher source. So that's our journey. I think of that also as our I Am line. In the source code teachings that I talk about this line that connects us to this higher self, this I Am presence, that we connect to it within, and we can actually just move up into this line and connect to this holy I Am presence. And by calling its name and by direction of our intention and attention, we connect with this presence and love this presence, and this presence begins to work through us in more magical and wonderful ways, because we can start surrendering the ego, surrendering the conditioned mind. So let's take a breath. That's right. As we open ourselves up to aligning with this I am nature, with this source, with this field of all intention. I'd like to pull a little bit of a teaching today as well from one of the I Am Discourses books to contemplate and ponder for a moment before our meditation, if that would be okay with you. So this actually is the I Am Discourses on Supply, and it is volume 19 of the I Am Discourse series. And it starts off with something that I think is important to start to understand. I think all of us are on this journey of spiritual awakening consciously. Anyone that's attracted to this teaching is. And one of the challenges I faced, and people that I work with faced, I remember, I forget. We remember, we're just like, oh, yes, I am that I am. I am one with the universe. I am one. And in the next minute, dang it, it's like we're right down in fear and doubt and worry and stress and all of this pounding. And that's our transformational practice to process that, but then get back upstairs, hold back onto that trolley car, get back into the higher floors of consciousness. And that takes a discipline and a remembering and a conscious intent to align with that intent and to consciously align with the higher vibrations and make those kind of choices. So he starts the very beginning of this discourse: in your constant demands of the outer self, you have focused, drawn, and anchored the energy of your own life into outer conditions that have become your problems and your limitations. Now, as you come with me to behold the great cosmic law's action in producing manifestation in the physical world, you must anchor upon the mighty I Am presence. In other words, we must continue to anchor on the truth, anchor on the divine, anchor on our line, anchor on what is there for us. And it continues, it says, you may think you know something about the action of law and energy, but you know very little compared to its great power, which swings in perfect divine order under conscious directing intelligence everywhere. So try to enter in to our understanding of your own mental processes and your own feeling world. Because, my dear ones, through doubt and fear alone, both of which is ego, you have bound yourself with that energy. So in other words, the divine channeling is saying, understand, you can't really comprehend this magnitude of this powerful universal flow and cosmic law. So let me help you and remind you, understand your mental processes and your emotional world. To understand, know thyself, what's happening mentally, to see our mind, to see what's happening here, to see what's happening so that we can begin to train ourselves in a new way. So let's continue this discourse. You have heard the messenger many times say that all your limitations are due to body consciousness. And that means some feeling or thought about what the body either wants or fears it will happen. Fears will happen to it. This is what makes mankind misuse this gorgeous, beautiful energy of life. In other words, just living on earth, our mind is constantly focused on what what the outer world, when it says the body, that's the material world of effects, what our body needs, our money, our love, our environment, our all the needs of the ego as well, constantly externally focused, right? We're externally focused. We're looking outside of the trolley car, judging everything. And we're learning we must retrain our attention to go upstairs, to align with the higher frequencies, to align with higher truth on a daily basis. So, so he continues on this. So it's like, first of all, understand that the mental process, the feeling process, they take you out, constantly worried about the outer life, and we're invited to continually develop a new spiritual practice to go inside. That's why we meditate. That's why we chant. That's why we call upon the presence. That's why we do that. That's why we decide to anchor into the attributes of divine intention, which are love and beauty and peace. All right. So he says, your own feeling world, if it be charged with doubt or fear, is the thing that pushes away the fulfillment of your call. That's your divine purpose, your life expression, what you're here for. Because doubt and fear, they are repellent forces, right? So then he says, they are not love, therefore not attractive. Love is the great, cohesive power of the universe and the vibratory action which coalesces universal light substance into the picture of what you desire to produce. In other words, the more that we can really align our attention with that, the highest vibration, the vibration of love, loving what we're doing, loving life, and most of all, loving the presence. Because the more we love the presence, the more we have access to the presence, and the more what we love, what we contemplate, takes over us. What we focus on begins to live through us. So, one more thing. You will find that if you maintain love, maintain harmony, maintain enjoyment of holding the picture. So in this chapter, it also talks about in as far as manifesting and as far as co-creating, as far as aligning with this field of intention, which is creativity itself. It is constantly creating. It is constantly creating impersonally what we contemplate. Constantly creating what we contemplate. And it talks about when we start to hold pictures in our mind of what we want to contemplate, what we want to manifest, what we want to be surrounded with, train yourself to hold those pictures, that the universal law of intention just continues to support that. So the master's saying, maintain love, harmony, enjoyment, and maintain this picture of the presence doing it. We want to get away from, your ego can't do all this. Our ego thinks it can, but it is not through the will of the ego that anything is done at all. And through our constant loving of the presence, constantly loving of the divine. I use the word presence. You could use God, you could use Christ, you could use the one, you could use whatever terminology works for you. But there is the higher self that is in this field of intention, that is in this field of source. And it is your share, our share of a part of this presence. And our loving of this presence opens the door. So it will release enjoyment of holding the picture of the presence is doing this. It will release from its own hands into your outer use that which you require. And you will find supply, opportunities, wonderful blessings coming from all kinds of channels. So every single individual has his or her own direct connection with their own mighty I Am presence, which is life's open door of boundless supply to each one to fulfill the divine presence. It's his mission. That which fulfills the divine plan must be the gift of life, for love alone is the fulfillment of the law of perfect manifestation. And unless your love goes to your I am presence in the enjoyment of holding this picture, you do not open the door, but by sending your love and asking the presence to do this, loving the presence, allowing the presence to live your life, allowing the presence to guide you, allowing the presence to manifest, allowing the presence to hold your hand. So we imagine this trolley taking us through life, this field of intention, which has your highest good because it is your highest good. And then we imagine, yes, we know the ego, it's full of fear. It's constantly worried about the me, and my source and my supply and my channels and my love and my acknowledgments and all of that. And that generates so much fear. And we are learning to be more masterful at being aware of our inner world in order to cause a shift of what we will focus on. So that as we see fear and doubt come up, as we enter into the I'm forgetting, that we can tap into by calling upon, by feeling it, by breathing through it, by coming into the present moment, and then invoking and calling, I am present, you need to do this. I turn over this worry, this problem, this fear to you. I know that it's not really real. I turn it over and I call upon your power, your presence. I demand to know and to see your mighty I am presence in every aspect of life. I am reaching higher. I'm intentionally reaching higher to grab onto that trolley rope. I'm intentionally reaching higher. I'm intentionally meditating. I'm intentionally knowing a truth. I'm intentionally getting my head out of the gutter and moving my thought and my mind and my awareness into a higher truth. And my alignment with loving the presence aligns me into that field, sets me into that field, and opens the door for that field to move through me in a way that is prospering and is loving and it is grace-filled. We are not here to struggle. We are here to learn to wake up and to align with the higher vibration of Source. And one of the things that I found that works so well for me is just sometimes I can't remember any words. I can't remember. I'm afraid my mind takes over. And when my mind takes over and takes me out, I need to remember one thing, and that's I am. To take a breath. I am. And a few chants of I am bring us back into that line, to come back into alignment with that divine presence, to come back into alignment, to ask that presence to take away the fear, ask that presence to reveal the love. And then we're contemplating that love, that presence is right here where I am, using my words of I am to co-create, to know I am that I am. I am the power, I am the presence, and I am the life. So we learn to put our attention on the love, put our attention on that powerful I am, and allow it to carry us. And not get so worried about who's coming on and off of the trolley. Not to be worried so much about where the trolleys, what field or what city or what you're seeing out when you look outside of the windows of the trolley car, but to know that I'm going to keep holding on to here, knowing that this trolley is God, it's my higher self, and it is continually moving me into perfect divine expression of its divine will, knowing that I am provided and supplied and supported and whatever is needed on this journey, that it comes on the trolley car just in time. And that's good to know, and that's good to remember. So I'm going to invite us to practice this teaching by going in my phone, going into a little bit of a meditation now. So settle in. That's right. And so the first course of action to continually remind ourselves in a practice is to start seeing what's happening in the mind and start seeing the ways that we get off center. We can always tell because we don't feel good. We're stressed and worried and anxious. We don't feel good. And when that happens, the first course of action is to take a breath. You have to interrupt the flow of thinking. So we don't interrupt the flow of thinking usually by trying to fight with it, but by seeing it. So we take a breath. And we bring all attention into the body. All attention into the body. That unhooks the energy going to thinking and conditioned mind thoughts. Begin to breathe and feel where the breath goes. Maybe following the breath from the nose down into the lungs, watching where it goes. Noticing every sensation in the body without judgment. Bringing full attention to the body. Just noticing the breath and the chest and the abdomen. And as you're focusing on the breath, begin to notice where you might hold tension in the body and let the body relax even more. Even more. Softening into the body and softening into the breath. Feeling the facial muscles soften and the jaw soften. Allowing the breath bring relaxation to the jaw, to the throat, and down into the chest, into the heart, all around the heart. Softening and relaxing all of the muscles in the chest, letting it just sink in. And feeling the breath expanding even lower into the abdomen and feeling the belly expand in and out. Allowing the muscles in the belly to relax even more. Relaxation is a key component to unhooking from the conditioned mind. Relaxing. That's right, just settling into the body. And I'm going to invite you to bring your attention right at the heart level. Breathing directly into the heart space. Almost like you are breathing directly into the heart. Allowing any sensations that are there to simply be noticed. There's no need to make anything go away ever. Bringing attention and presence to anxiousness starts to dissolve it. Trying to dissolve it doesn't dissolve it, it keeps it active. So relaxing into the heart, breathing into the heart. And now imagine that beautiful golden river of light coming from high above your head. And this golden cord of light coming down through the top of your head, the crown of your head, moving straight down. Imagine maybe in front of the spine, moving down through the body, out the base of the spine and going into the earth. Imagine that as your line, just slipping right into your line with every breath. Beginning to imagine breathing in and saying I, and breathing out and saying am. Imagine breathing up your line on I and down the line on am. I on the in-breath, am on the out-breath, I on the in-breath, am on the out-breath. That's right. Aware of this beautiful river of light coming from high above your head, imagining that coming directly from the heart of Source, the field of intention, through your own mighty I Am presence, your piece of the divine. Imagining it in a way that really just works for your own belief system, to feel yourself connected to the divine presence. Right in the middle of you, right in your line, bringing all of your awareness. So all the ways that the mind keeps going externally, thinking about the past, the future, things you're going to do, just keep bringing it back to your line. I am. As you come into this center and come into this line, we invite right now the higher self of each one, the divine presence of each one, to pour forth your love and grace and lift a hand down, symbolically, to pull us up. So using your imagination right now, bring your attention right to the crown of your head. That's right, and begin to look up through the top of your head and look up and see the light. See the light that's streaming down, and call upon your own presence. Lift you up into higher love, lift you up into the higher field of intention, lift you up into higher wisdom, to enfold you in so much love and remind you of a higher truth. And imagine yourself just being pulled up into that light, moving up like you're moving up into a light, into an elevator, moving higher and higher and higher. Inviting the higher self of you to do this. I call upon the higher self of each one to access through that energetic field, each one's pulling them up into greater, deeper divine love right now. Imagining that you're going higher and higher, leaving the body's concerns below you. Kind of aware the body's sitting down there all safe and sound. And you move up into this essence self, moving up, up, up into this light, moving higher and higher into this light, moving into this field, grabbing that trolley car cord and pulling yourself up and wanting and desiring to be in this higher vibration of love and light. And begin to sense that the higher you go, the more you're moving into this higher vibration of divine love. Allowing this presence to bless you with its divine love, knowing and loving this presence, knowing nothing comes to you except through this presence. knowing every heart's desire, every divine purpose, everything that your heart deeply holds is your higher self and your divine presence, wanting that for you, wanting you to live in greater union with it as it, wanting that for you. And continue to let yourself be pulled upward. Let yourself be sucked up into the light, into union with the higher self, into the I am that I am. I am that I am. I am divine love. Getting to feel and sense this holy high vibration that is divine love, that is divine joy and creativity and peace and presence and absolute vitality and life energy and wisdom and creativity. Knowing that it is all of this and so much more, take a moment to really align with the highest intention that wants to be known in you. Asking the higher self, what is my share of intention today to really receive? And it's always, always, always a vibration. It's not a thing. The things are of the material. This is a vibration of love, creativity, wisdom, joy, life energy. Your own higher self is doing this, inspiring you and giving you a word or two, a vibration. And your job is to say yes in agreement. I want that. I am that. So I'm using love. That's what I keep hearing. Use yours, whatever your vibration is. I am that. I am love. I am love. I am love. I am love. I intend to align with this field of intention today as love. I intend to allow this presence, this quality as love, as light, whatever it is. I intend to allow it to come and embody in my mind, embody in my body, embody in my world of affairs. Use your breath to expand the energy. Use your breath to expand that quality. Use your imagination to see the vibration manifested all around you as light, to feel it as love, or as whatever that quality might feel like to you. We invoke the higher self to access everything needed in the energetic realm, to download this frequency into the body temple and into the world of form now. That's right. And bringing awareness right into the sensations that you can feel. Bring your awareness into your body and claim to yourself with your powerful words of I am, which are creating and reinstating your divine qualities. I am love. I am light. I am healed and whole. I am abundantly blessed. I am living my divine and highest purpose. I am supported, secure, safe in every way. I am one with this power and this presence. I am love. Aligning with your words of I am is saying the power of God stands behind this. We are waking up to our divine authority to live as divine beings on earth, manifesting heaven on earth, manifesting the higher frequencies on earth. And we must first do it through our own body temple, through our own mental and emotional world. And our practice continues to realign us with that. And what I know for sure is that the more we're aligned with that trolley car, the more we're aligned in our I am line, the more we're hooked up to what's true about us, it is always leading us into our higher purpose. It is always supporting and supplying and providing. We are never separate from that love and from that light. And that is so good to know. That's right. So good to know. so good to know, and beginning just to bring your awareness right back into your body, feeling the very powerful breath in your body, feeling the very powerful heart expanding with even more love, feeling the alignment with that field of intention, feeling that now. Starting to come back to wherever it is that you are, wherever you're sitting, wherever you're being. That's right. As we come back into this realm of the physical, we come back bringing the inspiration into the physical life, trusting that I Am Presence knows how to do that. So thank you for joining us for Soul Soup. I'm so grateful that you could be here with me today. How fun it is to look on and see all these people on here. And in just a moment, I'm going to open up and say a few things, but let's finish off this class with knowing that there's one life, and that life is the presence. And it is seeking only to be known and experienced through a clearer and clearer channel. So every time we say I am, we are aligning our remembrance with that presence and that power. And it is good, and so very good. And so it is. Yes.